I've got something new and fun for us today. So I'm going to show you my top 5 favorite upsells that web designers like us can offer to our clients to increase the value of our work and also to increase the results for the clients. Now this is going to be pretty cool because we're going to go through like what the things are, why I think they're good upsells, how to actually fulfill, like how to actually do it, and what to charge for it. So we're going to get all of that going on right now. So let's jump into it. The first one is custom professional photography. So this is one of my favorite ones because there's such a huge difference between just like throwing on stock photography versus actual pictures of the team and location of your client. The problem is who's going to do the photography? Because like, what if you don't have all the gear? What if the client's across the country or something like that? How are you going to get there? Well, there's this website called Snapper, snappr.com. No affiliate or anything, just link in the description if you're interested. It's a cool service. But it's like a freelance community of professional photographers. And you can hire one of those photographers that lives in the area where your client is, like local to them, and they can take the pictures and everything for you. So that's really cool because like the difference between like stock photography and custom photography is huge. First of all, in the mind of your client, it's like, hey, you just sent out a professional photographer. They're going to look at their website and see themselves and their team and their location, and instead of just meaningless pictures or whatever, or crummy, blurry, old pictures or outdated stuff. So like that's going to boost the value in your client's mind dramatically compared to if you weren't doing the custom photography. But it also improves the conversion rates too, because when clients actually come to the site, they're actually seeing the real people they're going to work with and the real location where they're going to be going. And that's going to be boosting trust and increasing conversion rates on the site for visitors, you know, kind of booking calls and scheduling appointments and stuff like that. So it's like everybody's winning, and photography is an awesome one, and it's not even that expensive. So like if you go over to Snapper, and depending on where you live, the price is a little bit different and like how long you want the session to be, but like a 1-hour session is gonna be like $300 on average, you know, across the country to like get a photographer to show up on site at your client's location. And you could easily extend that to be like $500, where it's like $200 spread, you're getting the custom images, it's gonna make the website better, it's gonna make it easier to design, increase the conversions, increase your clients' perceived values. Like it's a great idea. And now that you know how to go over to snapper.com and kind of get some help with the photography, it's like a no-brainer. It's like definitely consider offering that to your clients. So that's thing number 1, custom photography. Thing number 2 is copywriting. But kind of like with the photography, one of the problems with copywriting is like who's gonna do it? Because like a lot of times it's easy to just push it off to the client, like have them do it, but they're not good at writing and they keep putting it off and procrastinating. And so like it can stretch the timeline out on projects forever. And then even when you finally do get the copy, it's usually not any good because they don't like writing it. It's like the headlines aren't any good. They don't have any calls to action. It's just a mess. So what you can do instead of having the client do it is just interview the client to get the information that you need and then write the copy yourself. So like what we'll do is we'll schedule like a 90-minute Zoom call with the client. You probably don't need a full 90 minutes. You probably can do the whole thing like 45 minutes to an hour, but I don't want to be rushed because then it like makes it hard to kind of pick back up later. So like schedule the full 90 minutes and try to do it over some kind of a video conferencing thing because you want to see the body language because the body language is going to help you get the tone right. But then take that recorded conversation and then use that to write all the copy. So like if you want to do it yourself, you can charge like $1,500 for it. And now you've got like better copy because a good copywriter wrote it. You're done in a couple of days instead of a couple of weeks, and you're gonna get better conversions on the site too, because it's like, you know, you got calls to action, you've thought about the headlines, and it's like so much better. If you don't wanna write the copy yourself, like this is one of the things we're actually talking about in Blue Theory. It's like, I can show you how to actually do the calls and what the questions are and like kind of give you that so you can do it yourself. If you don't wanna do it yourself and you're part of Blue Theory, you'll have access to our white labeled services. So we'll write it for you. We'll even do the interview for you. So we'll interview your client, write the copy for you, and then give you all the content at the end. We create up to 10 pages of content, but it's really 5 categories. So whether you do it yourself or you have us do it, you're looking for 5 categories of content. You're looking for the home page, the about page, services, contact, and FAQ. The services page is the tricky one because usually that's not just one page. Like we'll create 1 page per service, but the client might have like up to 5 different kinds of services or whatever. But we like to have like 1 page per service so you can dial in the keywords so that basically you can SEO the services better. You don't want to have like a big list of all the services on 1 page. It's much better to have individual pages for each service for the sake of SEO. So you might have like up to 10 pages of actual content, but it's like 5 categories of content. And then charge like $1,500. So like and if you're outsourcing it to us, like you've got a $500 spread. If you're doing it yourself, you're making an extra $1,500 and it's faster, it converts better. The client probably really appreciates not having to spend their time worrying about all of this. Awesome upsell to offer copywriting. Number 3, now this one's really weird, a very unusual service. Check this out. I like to offer Google Workspace setup plus a Calendly integration. So like most of our clients tend to be like professional services, like you want to like schedule an appointment or go in like med spas, doctors, chiropractors, tax accountants, like sometime where you want to get on somebody's calendar or come in for an appointment. So like what I like to do is I like to set up Google Workspaces so that they've got professional email addresses. Like I don't want them to, like, especially professional services, they don't need to be sending business emails with like a Yahoo or a Gmail or whatever kind of email address. They should have an email address on their actual business domain name. So I like to set that up so I have professional email, but I also like to do it on Google Workspaces so they get Google Calendars in the mix, so that when you set up the Calendly integration, you can actually pool together the availability of all the people that work at the office into one online calendar. It's this thing called round robin integration. So like say you've got like 3 different doctors or 3 different stylists or whatever, like multiple people that work at the business, you can pool together all of their availability into one online calendar. So somebody shows up at the website, just books the time, like clicks a date, schedules the time, and then Calendly is smart enough to see who's available at that selected time and put it on the right calendar. So that way you have this really nice booking system without having to buy anything complicated, without having to like spend a ton of money on it or whatever. And it's on, you can charge like $500 to set all that up as a cool upsell. And you've got professional emails going on, you've got online booking. So that's going to increase the conversion rates on the site because that's an awesome call to action. So much better than like a contact form. Because like with a contact form, it's like you fill out the form, somebody gets it a couple days later, or at least a couple hours later, and then they reply back to me and I'm going to get it a few hours. It's just ping pong back and forth, takes forever. Wouldn't it be better just to like click the date, click the time, schedule it right there, boom. You can even use Calendly to like collect a payment while you're scheduling the appointment, which helps with no-shows. So and you can say like $5 to book the appointment and you apply the $5 to the appointment when you show up. So like it's not like increasing the cost necessarily, but like it does help with no-shows to get people to commit a little bit at least when they're booking the appointment. And Calendly can handle all of that. So like that's a great setup. So the Google Workspaces plus Calendly, and now you got a great way to do the call to action on the site. Talk a little bit about call to action here in just a second. But number 4 is email list building. So one of the first things that I look for on a client site is like, are they building an email list? Because I think that's the most valuable thing a business owner can have, because you own that property, like you own the email list. And like most of our clients tend to think first about social media, and like social media is cool, but like with that, it's like you're kind of subject to the whims of the algorithms of the platform. It's like hard to sometimes even reach your own audience. So I like to use social media to drive traffic into the website to build the email list. So then you've got a property that you own and you can control. It's like your email list. The problem though is a lot of our clients don't even have an email opt-in on their website at all. Or if they do, it's like, hey, sign up for our newsletter. It's like, well, why would I do that? It just says newsletter, no reason to sign up. So what I like to do is I'll set them up with a MailerLite account. That's my favorite email marketing platform right now. I've been using them for a couple of years. And just put an email opt-in form probably on a couple of locations on the site as like secondary calls to action. So you got the calendar that we just talked about, but I also want to build an email list. So I'll have a couple places where I have the email opt-in, but instead of just saying newsletter or whatever, I want to develop a lead magnet, like something to put your email address so that you get something and you know what it is and you actually want it. So like one of our clients is a dietitian, and a really good lead magnet would be like my top 10 favorite gluten-free dessert recipes. You know, stick your email address in here and I'll send you the ebook. And I like to design it so it like looks cool. It really feels like an actual ebook of cool recipes, not just like black text on a white background like you exported something out of Google Docs or whatever, but like you actually designed it. It looks nice and it's like it feels like a cool thing, because that's going to really up the level of trust and kind of authority behind the lead magnet and kind of help with more conversions. So then you think, well, how do I write the lead magnet? Well, go back to that conversation that you just scheduled where you're interviewing the client, and just make sure that you ask enough questions to have the information that you need in order to create the lead magnet. Or if you're doing it with us, like we'll interview your client for you, write all the content for you, and do the lead magnet for you as well. So like we'll do it for you. But either way, have a lead magnet so that people can like build their own email list, because that's a really valuable thing for just like increasing the value of the clients you already have because you can get more repeat customers, and you can actually nurture the leads, which we'll talk about next, so that you get new clients signing up faster and more pre-qualified and faster sales cycles. So that brings me to the fifth one, which is it's great to set up a 5-part lead nurturing sequence after they download the lead magnet. Right, so you stick your email address in, you get this nice PDF ebook, but then for the next 5 days, like once a day for the next 5 days, follow up with another message to kind of further educate and qualify the client. And in each of those emails, say, hey, click here and book a time to come in. And then have that link back to what we talked about in step 3 with the calendar integration, have it link back to that. Because one of the things that we're seeing is a lot of people will get these emails and then book appointments when the office is closed. So like they couldn't call in because nobody's there. And by having that online calendar, you're getting more conversions at a time when you couldn't take them in person. And that's awesome. So like by setting that up, you get more people signing up. It's easier. You don't have to do anything. And you've got that 5-part lead nurturing sequence. So even when they do come in, they're like easier to talk to because they're better educated and better qualified. So I would totally do the 5-part email nurturing sequence, which is again something we can help you with, or you can do it on your own, whatever. But like those 5 things, if you kind of chunk it all together, like you can charge at least $500 for the photography, $1,500 for the copywriting, at least $500 for the Calendly and Google Workspace setup, at least $300 to $500 for the email list building with the lead magnet, maybe even more if it's a complex lead magnet that takes a while to write, and at least $500 for the 5-part nurturing sequence. So like you add all that stuff up together, it's well over $3,000 of stuff. And then you can still have your other services too, like SEO, social media management, video marketing, hosting, maintenance, whatever that you're already doing, like your tech care plan or whatever. Like you can still have all of those things too. But like now you've got these top 5 of my favorite upsells to add to your clients. So now you got these extra services, right? Well, what about invoicing for them? So like, check out this next video and let me show you my top 3 favorite invoicing hacks so you can get paid faster. Check it out. I think you're going to love it.